Right. Hello, everyone, and we are going to solve a new puzzle today and new scanning day. Today, oh, it's quite interesting because there is a knight and a queen, so we need to see all the forkable squares, and of course, obviously, this one is hitting the queen and potentially the rook, but then there is probably pawn race, yeah. But if we need to see all the ways knight can go, and in at least in two moves, yeah, like all the impossible ways, which seems weird. Obviously, there is c3 will be critical square, but and then d1, yes, like two moves, like you see it on the pieces, on another pieces, and then you need to see all the ways from d1. Like it can be b2, f2, e3, c3, and forkable ideas. Like an example, if we want to take this pawn, and can we take this pawn and come back to c8? Yeah. And notice I don't calculate anything. I just see the way. Like and now let's see. Let's calculate how many moves. Yes. Takes takes, and he will start to push his pawn. Yes. Let's see. We play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we blockade the pawn. 5. Probably his king should be on d7 to prevent it, but then he spent tempo here. We spent tempo for king f7, and we can still play 97. Or if king is on d7, we have forkable square on d6 or b6 also, and after promotion is possible. Yeah, and again, guys, I don't calculate it, otherwise you will get mad. Yeah. So d1, he has option c6, d7, but then we have extra move for f7. So we assume here 1, 2, 3, because from f5 there is potential for more squares, forks. 1, 2, 3, 4, sacrifice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Okay, here it's just 5. Like from initial square, it's 5. You can just remember it, or you can check yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5. Yeah. You can also calculate king moves, but I recommend you to remember from this or this rank is it's 3, and from this one is from this rank is it will be 4 moves. And also don't calculate one by one. Like I mean, if you train a kid, yes, and you ask how many squares here, at very least anyone can say 3 and 3, yes. Or like anyone can see 3 and 3, it's 6. But because Paul moved through 2 squares, you simply, yeah, it's 5. Yes. I mean by that, if you calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's too slow. Like see 4 squares here. It's 4 squares. Any kid can say you. Yes, and 1 here, 5. Or C3 plus 3, yes, or whatever. Or you just remember, or you immediately see. After a little you practice, you will just always remember 5 here. To calculate king's moves, you say, you just see, oh, two squares to cross, it's 2 moves. Yeah, you don't calculate, I'm here, he here, I'm here, to she here, oh, I'm here, he here, I'm here, he here. I mean, guys, make it simple, yeah. 2 moves here. So it's 5, and it's also plus 2, so it's 7. And here we calculated 6. Yes, if pawn just move forward, it's 5 against 6. But we have some forks in many ways. If king on b7, we have d6 forkable square. If king on the d7 square, we have on d7 square we have b6 forkable square. And yeah, and if king moves to let's say it also can move to, let's say after b5 it can move a6, a5, a4. It's not all candidates moves, yes, where it can move. And c6 with idea to shoulder our king, because obviously our king is also 1, 2, 3, 4 moves to the pawn. We should not think only about knight. We should try to scan all candidates' ideas. And our king 4 moves to the blockade here in this situation. Also, we have possibilities to play GF. So we have pawn break f6, which is maybe just winning. I'm not sure. He will take fg, otherwise. Yeah, we have f6 pawn break and pawn breakthrough, which can just win the game. Yeah, and in this case, but anyway, I understand. Now we scan. When you scan, you need to see all ideas on the chessboard, squeeze as much as possible from one position. It's not yes, probably yes. If we have chance to push f6 and g5, fg, and through this pawn, yes, no, but have to be very careful, because king, if moves to c6, has ability to blockade the pawn too. We need to check it carefully, yeah. But yeah, and after fg, there is maybe blockade with where blockade with knight c3, which is weird. Yeah, I don't think it can give results, but it's possibility. Yeah, and also here we notice 4 squares, and if she moves somewhere in some weird way, his king, yes, to b6, let's say. But probably no, he has always king b7 here. But we may consider this option also if he moves to maybe he is forced to shoulder us with king d7. Then it's easier to calculate variations. Okay, we have possibility f6. We have possibility to sacrifice the knight for the pawn with some forks and just play here, but it's risky because 2, 2, 4, 5, 6 plus 4, it's 6 by 4, 10. Simple math, yeah. And for the opponent is probably also from c file at 1, 2, 3, 4, move the king plus 3, he just faster. So it doesn't make sense. So like this we can eliminate, and I even didn't start to calculate everything. I just scanning, and just imagine what will happen if I think about candidates moves and just calculate everything without scanning. Obviously, if I just calculate candidates moves, I won't see f6. I won't see all the abilities on chessboard. I won't see this one probably. I won't see take on h4 and come back with the knight. I won't see some ideas. Maybe take on g5 with the key, like some weird way, f2, e4, g5. It should not work, but at least you scan for these ideas. And then if you have opportunity to go for that, you will understand it with the bullet speed. Of course, you need to evaluate ways not to trade the queens, but obviously it won't work here. At least it seems like d1 is hanging, c2 is hanging, h4 is hanging. May be, but I mean, there is I think this is correct, but we need to check it. Yeah. Can we just remove queen and fork here everything? It's also possible possibility. Like queen a3, if king b6, knight c3, maybe, but there is check. Yeah, there's check, fortunately. Otherwise, we need to calculate longer, but I also don't believe in that. So, did we miss anything? Knight c3. Now, I assume king c6, king b6 has to be right. Here comparison we keep on both squares, knight d1, c4. Let's say c4 already risky because f6. It can be risky, and if we can, yeah. And now we have h pawn. and we can somehow find the way to sacrifice the knight for the pawn, like put knight on d5 or b5, and yeah, and simply sacrifice on c7 square and win the game. Yeah, I assume after takes, knight c3, king b6 is 6 comparison, 91, he has to take fg. And now our options, we cannot play f6, cannot play f5, can take fg, but we also have this nasty move 93, and he doesn't have move c4 because we simply take knight c4. And he has to take and play c3. Yes, but if king on b6, we play knight d5, knight c3, and win the game. Like this, we eliminated king b6, I assume. Yes. So from that, we have only moved king c6. Also possible king b4, but it's weird because king now can stop the pawn. It shouldn't be correct. So king c6 is only move. But now, what is drawback of king c6? We still have knight e3, but then takes c3. It seems okay. It seems okay. But wait, c3 we want the tempo, and the main point is still this pawn. Knight f5, c4, knight h4, c5, and it seems like just winning knight f5 and wherever king, not maybe knight f3 to form here and knight c6, and this pawn is just winning because he is not in the square. It seems just winning to me, like nothing to solve when you understand how cookies crumble, you know. And believe me, you can spend 2 hours for this position, yes, without scanning and still make a lot of mistakes because you simply do not scan all the possibilities. And also, the most horrible thing, if you just calculate and your chess is just crazily complex. Yeah, I mean, it's just if you scan the positions, then when you play chess, you just automatically will you create like you like put in your box of ideas a lot of ideas which you can see eventually with bullet speed. So the number of positions which you scan just incredibly important. Like imagine if you scan millions of positions, you just will spot everything in the split of second in almost any situation. Okay, so any tricks now, because we have this as assumption in the mind, like, oh, I solved this puzzle, I understand it. Yes, for we need to trick our brain. Because when brain thinks, I got it, I understand it. Yes, brain turn off because brain doesn't want to work. It wants to don't want to consume a lot of energy. It doesn't want to consume a lot of energy. So you need to turn it on again, like. And the trick to activate your brain when your brain thinks, oh, I got it, nothing else for me. Yes, I understand everything, and it is common mental mistake of your brain. You turn your brain to think, oh, I don't play here black, I play white. I play white, I don't play black. And you start to think, you know all the ways black will win this game, yes? And now you start to think, oh, I know all the ways how he's going to win this game. Let me prevent it because I already know it. Yes, all the ways. Let me find the trick which will trick my opponent. And now imagine we play white in this position, and he takes, played knight c3. We need to decide where to move the king. After king b6, we know there is fork knight d5, knight d3, knight d5. Yeah, we cannot do anything. And we can play king b4. We can play king b4, but then still this problem. Like takes already, and even move the pawn, king f8, c5, king e8, c6, king d8. So needs to, after king f8, needs to run back, and king d8, king b7, but still risky to a risky, maybe wrong idea, but still, there is still blockade, yeah? Blockade, and can we squeeze the king if it just stays? Probably. How can I solve it without calculation? But it's additional possibility. I don't want to keep it. I want to play something more aggressive. Another square, interesting square, a6. I don't block my pawn, and I avoid fork. This is interesting, yeah. And we never see it if I think only about, oh, I solved this puzzle already. Notice you, I explained to you, but notice you will make this mistake thousands and thousands times, again and again. Correct it again, again and again, very patiently, and you will make less these mistakes. It won't protect you totally from not making this mistake at all. Knowing is not doing. Yeah. So takes, knight c3, king a6, because king still controls a critical square b7, and now there is no fork. And if I run with the king b7, okay, great idea. Knight c4, still f6 is the threat, so fg is necessary to play. And the question is, can I play knight e3 now and win the tempo? Most likely, yes, takes, and again, cannot play c4, knight takes c4, c3, knight e5, c4, knight h4, c5, knight f5, c6. Yeah, 97 is just winning. Has to be winning, h4. Boom, sacrifice here and just winning. Yeah, we know the plan for black, so king e6 also doesn't work, king b6 doesn't work, king c6. Is the idea maybe to bring king to d7 and g6 decoy here to like this, we call it trousers, yeah. Maybe let's check. Takes, knight c3, king c6, knight d1, and for advanced calculation technique, you no need to check all the time from beginning to the end. You create in your mind critical position, like you visualize, or king already on c6 and knight on d1. You don't come back to the initial position. It's very important, especially if you solve very long puzzles. But try to create this habit in your mind, like, okay, I don't come back, I already see my like knight on knight c3, yes, and I decide where to move, yeah. An example, king c6, knight d1, I see it, yeah. fg, knight e3, and maybe here is somewhere to way to draw it in this position with these pawns, like king d6. Don't think it works if she has king d6. No, c3 maybe still. Knight f5. No, it cannot work. Knight f5, knight h4. So if sacrifice the pawn, king d6, knight c2, king f5, king g6, it doesn't work too. The idea was king f5, g6, but there is also knight e3, so it's easy to eliminate. King c6, d7 seems, and g6 is our final idea, yes. Knight c3, king c6, knight d1, fg, knight e3, c3, gf king f7. Maybe there is some tricks with g7. I don't believe in that. c3, and I can play fg is bad. So I think gf king f7, he has to play c3, knight f5, king d7, knight h4, c4, f5, g6, c5, h4, c6, h3, c7, knight e7, g6. That's interesting. That's something. King f6, g7. That's something. h2, g8, c8. Draw. Yeah, we found the trick. We found the trick now. And now we need to find a way to win again. Okay. takes, take. Now we again play as black. Like you imagine you turn the board. Like if you have real board, you can just turn it and you play from another side. Then again, turn it, you play from another side. You turn it and play from another side. Okay. So now we know the defensive trick is push these two pawns simultaneously. Can we just take pawn back? Patiently. Let's see, trick in c6. Knight d1 fg. Can we just take pawn back? c4. e3. c5 f5. d7. h4 c6. No, we cannot. Knight f5 c7. Yeah. Needs to find one more trick. Or knight f5, maybe king f7, knight e7, something like that. But he can just stay. Even not necessarily to promote, but even promote, there is as we understand, if someone is winning with check, only white can win. Okay, so defensive idea to bring king to b7. G. Knight e3. I still think it's main move. Takes c3. Knight f5. Maybe more tricks. Knight f5. I assume it's correct. But then the question is, why not knight g2 also? It's kind of interesting from the side of solving puzzles. c4. Knight h4. Should we play knight h4? Then see another way. King d7. Knight g6 maybe blockade. c5 h4, c6 h3, c7 h2, c8, and nothing yet. c7 h2, wait, c7 97, yeah. c6. c7 normal tricks, yeah. Yeah, normal tricks is draw. Interesting. Now we need to find the win. We found defense. Now we need to find the win. What can we miss? What am I missing? fg, c4. And now she shoulders the king. It seems like very, very easy. c5. Knight h4, c6, knight f3, c7, knight f5. Knight f5 can what? No, it can't work. Why not? King d6, yeah. King d6. Yeah, maybe in some cases where with additional checks it can work at the opponent. So this idea also tried here. No, he prevented it immediately. Wait, this is interesting. We can provoke in d7 and then blockade this pawn with the knight. Oh. In c6, knight d1. Now our idea fg. It was knight g, but let's stay fg. Let's c4. King f8, king f7. The threat is king c5, king e7 possible, yeah, no. Threatening king d8, king c8, maybe. King e7. And now if king b7, to push the pawn. let me just calculate. So the idea is to provoke king d7 and then just take care about the pawn with the knight. So, and when you calculate, remember, do not verbalize moves. You and yeah, do not verbalize moves. Try to see few moves simultaneously, not like I explain you know one by one. You just simply see next position. Like now, king c6 already on c6, knight on d1, and then next position. Try to see a few moves simultaneously. Because when you say move in your head, you limit yourself with the speed of say verbalizing. When you just see moves, you can check it. Yes, you will calculate 5 times faster or 10 times faster. There are no limits. Yep, and yeah, and anyone can does it. Anyone, and it's not like only super grandmasters can calculate 5-10 times faster than than normal people. Normal people just don't know how to train it. That's the whole difference. Okay. Mm. Yeah, I think I understand that the point is this pawn is freezed like so king c6 91 and fg 93 c3 takes and after he plays we're not forced to play knight f5. Yeah, wait, who's move in knight c3 king c6 91 fg 93 c3 93 gf king f7 c3. Yes, we don't need to move the knight now. This is a wall trick because if we move the knight, he can play c4, but now c4 he cannot play. So we can play, let's say, king e7 or king e6. King e7, I assume. And if he plays g6, we can play knight f5 and take this pawn. And it seems it works. And if he plays he cannot play c4, but if he plays king b7, there is fork on d6. Like we play knight f5, and again he cannot play c4, knight d6, knight c4. And if he plays, and basically he has no way to play like king b6, then c8 is weak, so we can play king d7, maybe, not sure. Like king d7, g6, king e7, something weird like this, and then she has to play king b5 to support this pawn, but then we simply sacrifice the knight for the pawn and win by this way. It's just a picture of the game. We need to be very precise and check it. Yes, takes, king c6, 91 takes, 93, takes, c3, king e7, preventing king d7. Yes, king b7 on the way, king b6 may be, but seems very, very weird. Like he doesn't improve the position. King d7, G6, King E7, go back. And then again, how to improve the position. G7 is not improving, I play King F7. But let's say, but then they just sacrifice here. It's over. Yeah, it's over. If she plays G6, it's just over. I sacrifice the knight and take this pawn and win. Yeah. But in this case, how he cannot play G6. He has to hold this pawn. But this is kind of Zugzwang, yeah. He cannot play King B6, knight D5. He can play King B7. But then it's question mark, can I play King D6 maybe? Also, G6 I come back. And King B6, knight D5, knight C3. And again, Zugzwang, yeah, like King C8, blockades pawn, King B8. And then we maybe can run for this pawn, like the 4G6, H2, and King C5. But I feel there is multiple options to win already. Okay, let's check move by move. Yeah. Okay. Take risk. I don't want to. Actually, you need to turn board one more time, but for the video, I want to make it as short as possible. Yeah, King C6, we anticipated it. Knight D1, we play here. And now we play knight E3. Not FG, because now after FG, he has C4. And knight E3, she has C5. Knight D5, he has King D7. Knight H4, she has C6. And knight E5, he has C7. And it's absolutely fine for him. He is even winning. Yeah. Oh, it's just over. Yeah. But I think it's not the key point. Like, I thought the main line is takes, C3, and here it has to be precise, not? I thought King E7 is clearest win. Computer also suggests King E6, King E7 is winning, but it was winning after knight F5. Wow. And I thought about C4, knight H4, King D7. What did I miss? Knight F5, C5, knight E7, C6, and simply knight takes C6. That's simple. Yeah. Very easy, very simple miss. And G6 just doesn't, knight G6, knight E7 back. Yeah, very simple miss. C6 just sacrifice, just basic, sacrifice the knight for the pawn. And I thought about something like C6, H4 is not winning anymore. Only, 95, knight B6, let's say, another trick which I missed. Yeah, that's why it's useful to check with the engine, because we sound very smart, but when we check with the engine, there are zillions of more tricks. Yes, C8 knight, but this pawn unstoppable. Yeah, and my idea was here, if H3, G6, yes, I kind of found, but I did not detach from, I didn't turn board one more time in my mind, like, oh, I found idea, attachment to idea, this idea will work. I didn't try to refute it. As I said you when we started this video, you may know your mistakes, but you will still make it again and again. Yeah, like it happened to me in this video. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you could enjoy it, and wish you limitless growing and beyond all limits. Thank you so much. Bye bye, Bye.